Hello, and welcome to Turn Tarot Tale. I'm your host tonight. My name is Penny Pentacle. I'll be doing free mini readings. So if you're watching now, please start tapping the screen and tap those hearts. The people that are tapping are that's how I'm going to do people's readings. So I'm using the Rider-Waite tonight. So I hope you're all okay. If you're new, please put in the comments new. If you're a regular, please put in the comments regular. So I'm just getting my cards ready and warmed up. I'm raring to go. Hope you've been okay. I haven't seen you for quite a while. Lots been happening. I've been busy doing my counselling studies, and obviously I don't know if any of you know, but my lovely rabbit Flossie passed away on Sunday morning. So there was that. So that was really sad. So, that's why I'm wearing my rabbit top tonight, in memory of her. So, so I hope you're all okay. So, as I say, I haven't been on for a while. So those of you that know me, please say hi and tap those hearts. The best way to get a reading tonight, it is free, is to tap the screen, and whoever taps the most up here, that's how I will pick who I'm going to do reading for. Hello Raspin Chutney, hello Lynn, hello Jamie G, thank you for joining. Hope you're all okay. Hope you had a lovely, what day is it today? Wednesday, so midweek, not much longer to go, and then we got the weekend. And so I'm just doing little mini tarot card readings tonight. All you have to do is tap the screen to be able to get a reading. Hello Elf, hello Lynn, how you doing? And then there's George joined and Bliss joined. Thank you for all joining. Say hi when you pop on. My name's Penny. Hello. George got a #1 viewer badge. Hello Peggy, thank you for joining. And so I'm on a little bit earlier tonight, purely because I've had a long day, so I didn't want to go on too late tonight. So there might be some people that I don't normally do readings for, because it is a bit earlier than normal. Maybe the other people that come on are usually on a little bit later. Okay, so do you want to go to bed? Okay, some comments were filtered. Okay, please be nice. I'm only here to help people, and I just wanted to say hello to you all and see if you wanted any free readings. But if you... So who has been tapping? How accurate is the tarot? I love this. How accurate is the tarot? I love this. We don't believe, but I do. Okay. Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Personally, myself, I do the tarot, but I like to do it in a way that's constructive and helpful with people. I wouldn't say I'm psychic. I don't believe the tarot is there to predict the future. I feel that the tarot is there to open up maybe what's subconsciously going on within you, to help you and give you more advice to move in the right direction and to make changes, rather than, will he ask me to marry him, or will I get back with my ex? I don't really feel that yes and no questions are really going to be helpful, because at the end of the day, most of us generally know within ourselves, with our own intuition and our own gut feelings and our own brains, whether something is going to turn out positive or negative, just by how we feel around different people with different energy. So, yes. So Luke says, so it's more like guidance within yourself. Yes, I would say it's more that. Hello, Jessica. So to get a reading, all you have to do is just tap the hearts, and then I will go up here and see who's been tapping the most, and that's how I'll pick it. So I'm going to have a look and see who it who's up there. So we've got Lisa that's been tapping the most. So Lisa, if you have a question, that's great. But remember, it literally is to tap into your unconsciousness, you know, and to help you resolve an issue. It's not there to fortune tell and predict the future or any of that. You know, you've got the answers within you yourself. This is just a guide. It's just something that helps you. You know, at the end of the day, tarot and psychology go together, and there's a lot of archetypes within the tarot, which, and obviously astrology as well. So let me see. So let's see where we're going. So I said that I would do a reading for. Right, so we've got George and Becky. I know they're on there, and there was a lovely lady before, but I'm not sure where she went. So Jessica, you're all the way from Australia, so that is great. All the other side of the world. Right, so I'm just seeing where we are. So Becky, and we've got Luke. Okay, so I'm just seeing where we're at. So what I might do is, because the person I called, I don't see them anymore on here, but if they come back, I think it was Lisa. So Lisa, if you want to say hey, but right now what I'll do is I'll do Becky's question, because I can see Becky's question. You would like to know, you and Alex, are you and Alex going to be all right? Okay, so I will just see what the cards have to say. Hello, Katie, Elizzie. Hi, Lisa. So I'm just going to do Becky, and then I'll do you, Lisa, okay? So bear with me. So we're going to do Becky, then Lisa, and then I'll do George, all right? And then I'll go from there. And so basically the only way you get a reading is to tap the screen. And the more you tap the screen, I can see who's been tapping, and I pick out the people I'm going to read that way. Okay, it just makes it fair, you know. So Becky, we're going to do your reading for you now, my lovely. Been tapping from the start, Catherine. Oh, well, thank you for tapping from the start. Unfortunately, other people are tapping more than you, so their names go up there. But keep on tapping, my darling, and something will come up for you. But I'm going to start the reading now, so I'll just go through people bit by bit, all right? So you just got to bear with me. I'm only one person. I can't do all of you at once, even though I'd love to be able to use special gifts and magical abilities. That's not how things work. So Becky wants to know how she is going to be with Alex. So let's do some 4 cards and see what they reveal. Give Becky a bit of advice. Okay, so I can see in the positive, you've been on quite a journey with Alex, the pair of you. We've got the Chariot, which is a life lesson, and it's in the positive section. And this journey you've been on together has been, you've gone through good things and bad things, but you're holding on. But the negative side is it feels like it's coming to the end of a cycle, the world. It's like maybe it's gone the distance. Does that make sense to you? It looks like we've got the world, and the world is the completion, and it's reversed, and it's also in the negative section. So I don't know if you have gone so far on this journey that you come to a point that maybe you're just, I don't know if you're just arguing or if you're just grown apart, just generally as life, you know, that's what happens sometimes, you grow apart. I have got in the result, there is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups, he represents someone that's very understanding emotionally. Usually the cups as I say, it represents the emotions, but he's also a leader, he's a king, so leading within the emotions. And the cups also can represent certain star signs like Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio. They're emotional signs. And the king is very understanding, someone that got a good ear to listen to. And the advice I would give is the Page of Swords. This means new ideas. You know, the Page of Swords is like an Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. You know, they want to take off, start something new. Maybe their mind's set on moving things in a new direction. Does that make sense? So I guess it's maybe being emotionally fair and talking things through, and coming to some sort of mutual understanding, possibly, getting on the same page, and then maybe thinking about moving on, maybe looking at a new direction, possibly, maybe talking about a new direction. Will you last? Only you two can decide that, my darling. But what I would say is you do need to have a heart to heart. You do need to be understanding and emotionally grown up in terms of having this King of Cups being about in the result. And the advice is obviously, being an heir, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and this is a new thing. This is to do with you using your mind, to talk about things, because communication is key. And if you don't talk about things, then you don't know where you're going to move on. But if you feel there's something wrong, and you've gone on this journey together, you do feel from your point of view that it's coming to an end. So I don't know if it's coming to an end from you or from him, but either way, you need to talk emotionally, be grown up and confident and understanding with each other, and also maybe try something new and then see where you go from there. If that doesn't work, then obviously you may have to call it a day, my darling. But if you're worried and concerned, then speak to him now. All right, my darling? So I hope that's helped you a little bit. As I say, I don't predict the future or anything like that. Is he losing interest? I don't know that, but I know that you've been on a journey, and I know that you feel that it's coming to an end for whatever reason, whether that's to do with you or to do with him. I'm reading your energy, okay, my lovely? So it's your energy I'm picking up. So I feel that your energy feels that it's coming to an end. So I'm going on what you feel, and if you feel that that's the case, then you need to speak about it, because you don't want to walk around feeling like you're walking on eggshells and feeling there's something wrong and you're unhappy, and you're second guessing if it's going to work out or not. If you don't ask, you're not going to know, my lovely. All right, so Lisa, you're next. Did you have a question? He's grieving. Okay, well, if he's grieving, that could explain quite a lot, my darling. He's probably shut down. He probably needs to have some time out. The king is also about understanding. Maybe you need to be like the King of Cups, which is very emotional, very understanding, very mature, looking after, just being there, supportive for them. And, sometimes you can't give, they can't always give back, when they're going through their own things. Sometimes you have to put in the work to be there for them. And it sounds like that's what you might have to do at the moment. But, once the grieving's passed, which could take time, then maybe look into finding out about your relationship. But it does, make people question a lot of things, grief. So just talk to him and be there for him. That's all you can do, my lovely, okay? So love and light to you. And we've got, so to get a reading, the only way you can get a reading is tapping the screen, and whoever taps the screen the most, I picked them from up here. The next person was Lisa, and Lisa said, he's snappy, Becky. Okay, he will be snappy. He's going through all the different stages of grieving. You just got to be kind and be there for him, my darling, okay? So Lisa, is everything going to be okay with me and my partner? So we've got a lot of people going through things at the moment, but then that's life, isn't it, my darlings? You know, life is a cycle of nothing is perfect and nothing is imperfect. It's always a constant battle, you know, but if we didn't have the dark, we wouldn't see the light, would we? You know, everything happens for a reason. So Lisa, I'm going to find out. Let's see what's going on. Hello, Bryony. Thank you for sending roses. Appreciate it, my lovely. The only way to get readings on here is literally to tap the screen and produce those hearts, and then I will have a look and see the names up here, and then I will do a reading for you. So Lisa wants to know, is everything going to be okay with her and her partner? So what is the cards telling me today? Remember, this is not fortune telling. These tarot cards don't predict the future, but it's picking up on your energy and what's going on in your life in the present moment. Okay, so in the negative, I've got the 9 of Swords. In the positive, I've got the 6 of Cups. In the result, I've got the Empress. And also in the advice, I've got the 2 of Cups. Okay, so this is the first card, which is the positive, okay? And although this looks very scary and, you know, it's got dark background and all these swords, it does mean, and it's a 9, the positive, I guess, is it's coming to an end. You're obviously not being able to sleep and you're quite worried about what's going on with things to do with your partner. You know, it's keeping you awake. It's causing you to be quite anxious over things. And maybe you're bottling it all up and you're keeping it within, and maybe you're not, you know, expressing it to your partner. And the negative is the nostalgia. You've got nostalgia, which is an emotional card, cups, to do with the past. So maybe you're remembering how things used to be in your relationship at the moment, but it's not quite how it used to be. Things have changed within your relationship, and you noticed this, and changes do happen. But you know, the positive thing is this anxiety is going to be coming to an end, okay? And the negative thing is, stop thinking about how things were in the past. Focus on the moment and now, and working things together. You can't have things like how they were. Does that make sense? You know, things have got to move forward. You know, you're on a different stage within this relationship now. You have got, for the result, the Empress. Now, the Empress, it's like all 4 queens. Now, she is like one that's like nurturing, one with nature. She, you know, she's like Mother Nature, I would say. And she's also very fertile in the fact that she's very content and loving. And she's definitely a down-to-earth character. So I think, looking at that card, saying it in the results section, I think you need to be realistic with what's going on, you know, not necessarily reminisce or worry about the anxious what will happen in the future. It's all about working on the now and, you know, looking at what you've got together, you know, what makes you happy in the now. And then we've got here the advice. It's the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups is 2 people. 2 people is partnership. Cups is emotions, you know, putting the emotions together, working together, coming together. So I feel a lot of this is in your head. A lot of this is you worrying more because things have changed and they're not the same as they used to be. And I feel that if you ask him, he may even just say to you, I don't feel that there's something wrong necessarily within the relationship. I think maybe your self-esteem may be low at the moment, and maybe you feel there's some distance with him at the moment. He's not quite like how he used to be, or how things used to be. Either way, the best thing to do is to speak. As I've said many things which I don't mean. Okay, so you need to take a step back, you need to breathe, and you need to be kind to yourself first and foremost, all right? Because at the end of the day, if you do not look after you, you are bringing that energy within that relationship, and you need to bring in an energy that's happy for the pair of you, but you both got to be there for each other. So I'm just going through these messages. He's struggling to cope with my outbursts. Okay, well, he probably doesn't know what's going on, and he's moved out. Okay, so I see. And what you need to probably do is to work on why you're having these outbursts. You know, maybe you should look into seeing possibly a counsellor, you know, to talk about it. I mean, there's obviously stuff you need to work on, and until you work on that, he's probably not able to work with you at the moment. You know, he doesn't know which you is going to be there in the morning or in the evening. You know, as you say, there's always these outbursts, but why are you having these outbursts? You know, you need to work on that, my lovely. Yeah, so I thought you must be having depression along those lines, which is why you do need to see your doctor first and foremost, and then you need to obviously get referred to a counsellor and work on yourself, because at the end of the day, he can't do that for you, all right, my lovely? He can be there to support you, but he's not the fix-it. He's not the one that's going to fix the problems, and the more you have these outbursts, he doesn't know how to handle that, and so he's backing away, my lovely. All right, you're on a waiting list. Well, that's good to know that you're on a waiting list, but, you know, call Samaritans or anything, any helplines that you feel you need if you know, if you feel really low. But you do need to get that help and that support, my lovely, all right? So I hope that helps you, but it's more about you fixing you before you can fix your relationship. I think a lot of it's to do with your worries, all right? As I say, I don't predict the future. I go on what your energy is and what you're telling me, and then I just see what the cards go alongside. Okay, who's been tapping the most in that time? So I know Bryony has. There's George was up there before. Is George still around? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You're welcome, my lovely. If you would like to get a reading, then the only way to do it is just tap the screen and the little people up there will appear, and then I know who's been tapping the most, and I will go and call out those people's names. Bryony, you are going to be next as well if George is not around, but George was around a moment ago. So Bryony, you are going to be next to get your question ready. Thank you for the flame heart. So keep tapping, guys. So we're like 7:45, so I have started earlier tonight. So if you've seen me before, then let me know in the comments and say you're a regular. If you've not seen me before, just say new. It's always nice to know. Tell me where you're from in the world, just so I get a bit more familiar with all of you guys that are with me tonight, because it's always lovely to know what this energy is and where it's coming from. So so I've done Becky and I've done Lisa. I don't know if George is still about. So George still about? If not, we're going to do Bryony. So Bryony, you around? I'll come back to George because if Bryony is not about, but I know she was around a little while ago. The comments are coming through a little bit slow, so I'm just shuffling in the cards ready for Bryony. So Bryony, did you want a general, or did you want to ask a question regards to your energy at the moment? Just the general. Okay, so let's do a general and see how the energy is around Bryony at the moment. What does Bryony need to know for now? You know, what does she need to move forward with. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so positive, we've got the Empress. The negative, we've got the Queen of Swords. The Page of Cups is the result. And we've got the Devil reversed, or the Devil is the outcome. Okay, so what is going on here, Bryony? I can see initially the positive thing about you is you're down to earth, you're very you're very feminine, you're very, you know, loving, caring, homely, but also like the beautiful things in life. You're very, you know, warm, kind, generous, very just there for people, or very emotionally together. But the negative side is maybe you say things, I don't know if you happen to be an Aquarius, Libra or Gemini, but this is the Queen of Swords, and the negative side of you at the moment is maybe you can say things too bluntly, you cut people short within what you're saying, or that's what you have been saying recently for some reason, or maybe there's someone in your life that has been doing that, you know, around you, that happens to be I'm a bit direct sometimes and snappy. Okay, you're a bit direct. So maybe you need to show your emotional side a bit more, your feminine side, you know, and not be so, you know, like that Aquarius, that Queen of Swords. Maybe think before you speak, and, you know, so you don't upset anyone. But what I can say, and the Queen is not bad, by the way. She's very intelligent. She's got good ideas. She's motivated. She just wants to get things done. She wants to move things on. But sometimes she can get quite, you know, if things aren't moving quick enough, she can get to the point where she's like, well, come on, hurry up, or she'll just say it how it is. And so the result I've got here is the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups happens to be, we've got emotional sign here. So the Page of Cups means the result is you're doing something new emotionally, or you want to do something new emotionally. Okay, you need to feel, you want something creative, an adventure, or something, a surprise almost, you know. There's a fish in a cup there, you know, that's a bit of a surprise anyway. And so emotionally you need something new in your life. But what you have got to remember, the advice you've been given, is you need to be careful with the devil within you. You know, when I say the devil, I mean we've got a devil and an angel within all of us. We've got a yin, we've got a yang, we've got a light, we've got a dark, you know, we've got the ego. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but sometimes when we're more focusing on things that are not so good for us, or, you know, some sort of addiction, or doing things that are not good for us, yeah, maybe we're putting ourselves down too much. Like sometimes I'm self-critical and very self-sabotage. So yeah, devices here, you need to stop probably doing that to yourself. Stop beating yourself up, you know, don't be the devil to yourself, you know. Start being kind to yourself, you know, start treating yourself with a bit of respect. You know, how would you treat a friend? You know, what would you say to a friend in your situation? Think about how you would do that, you know, and think that you need to be kind, and a bit of self-care. And, you know, at the end of the day, you are the one that's important. Okay, my lovely. So yeah, there's something new emotionally you'd like to do, so I would focus on that. But also, just don't beat yourself up, or don't do anything that you feel that's going to start putting you in the negative zone. Okay, you know, of course everyone has bad days, that's fine, that's normal. But, you know, at the end of the day, just focus on what this emotional new thing you want to do. Get excited about that, you know, get more positive, set yourself some goals. All right, so love and light to you, my sweetie. Okay, so let me see where we're at. So we've had Bryony, so the other person that's been tapping the most is AMO, Amo. Hello, Amo. Remember, this is not fortune telling. This is, I can't tell the future. I can't tell if your bracelets, if you're going to get back together or not. But what I can do is read the energy for you and the cards to guide me, okay? So I will do that. So Stando, I work for a company called Uptime Global. Okay, well, we'll see what the cards have to say. As I say, I don't predict things and it's all about your energy, but I go with what comes out. Okay, so in the positive, we've got, I don't know, we've got lots of childhood reminiscing emotions here. Is this something you've been wanting to do since you were young? I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, there's something that you've been transpiring to get to here. Definitely that much I do know, because that's what's in the positive. And in the negative side of things is the Sun. It's been maybe a bit too, you know, too hopeful, you know. Don't get your confidence built up, you know. Be realistic about it. Is it what you really want? Is there any other things out there other than this? Is this the be all and end all? Because you've got the Sun, but it's in a negative thing. So, you know, just be realistic about it. It doesn't mean to say you're not going to get the job, but it just means set yourself up for other jobs as well. You know, have backup plans. And the result, there's something going to get in the way. There's a devil's come up here. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get the job, but it means there's something that's going to be your devil, you know, within you, can cause destruction in some way. So you need to work on whatever that is, because that could change the result of getting a job. But you've got the Chariot, which means we're going on a journey. So, and if you can balance out things in your life in the correct way, then yeah, I think you can keep on top of it. It's looking like this is something you've wanted to be doing for a long time, and but you do have your heart really set on it, okay? But always have other strategies to fall back on, you know. Don't get all your hopes and dreams into this one particular job, is what I'm saying. And work on anything that you feel that can stop you, you know, from doing that job in the best of your ability. Does that make sense? The devil has come up and it's just saying, you know, don't be persuaded to go out party the night before, say a second interview was to come up or something. I'm not saying that that's what you're like, but it's just an example. Does that make sense? But you have got a journey on this, so you are going to be on a journey finding what you want. And at the end of the day, the goal is to find what you want, and you want it to be long term. Yeah, you know, so you work on you, sort out the things that are not so great. You know what they are. I don't know what they are. And then you can make way for whatever job you want, really. At the end of the day, the world is your oyster. You just need to have the confidence and belief, but don't put all your eggs in one basket, should we say. But you will get something. You just need to work on these strategies. All right, so thank you for joining me. We've got God bless with us. God bless with us. God bless with us. You are next. Let's see. You're welcome, Pedro. Not Pedro, Amo. And God bless with us. Body. What is your question, my lovely, or did you just want a general? So to get a reading, you need to tap the screen. That's the only way you're going to get a reading, is by tapping the hearts. And let me see. So God bless. Are you there, my lovely? Do you want a general, or would you have a question? Remember, this is not fortune telling. Will my marriage life work out peacefully? Okay. So, hello Dee Dee, thank you for joining. The only way you get a reading is to tap the screen to produce the hearts, and then I will pick you from up above, okay, my lovelies? All right, so just keep tapping and I will go through as many as I can. All right, my lovelies. Okay, so we want to know, will my marriage life work out? This is God with us body. So what's the energy around them at the moment? What do they need to know? Please let me know. Okay, so I can see in your positive, even though it's in the positive, there is a loss, a sorrow, but there is also these emotional cups behind, something you're not quite seeing. You know, you feel that you've lost like the 3 cups in front, and it's a 5. It's challenging. Things have been challenging at the moment within this relationship, and you know, you feel like something's lost emotionally, and negatively you know, you feel you've come to the end within this. You know, emotionally, this is the happy families here, and you're feeling the negative you're feeling as it's coming to an end. But it doesn't mean to say that it is coming to an end, but that's how you're feeling, that it's got to that stage where it feels like it's on its last legs. I would say you have got the result of the Pentacles, which is all about working hard at something. You know, 7 of Pentacles is on this physical plane, and to do with relationships. So I'd say it's all about you working hard within the relationship to keep things going. And there is going to be some emotional choices ahead, my lovely. You know, some are not going to be so good, and some are going to be good. And you need to think carefully about what you want within this relationship, and what you both want, really, at the end of the day. But yeah, I can see there's a lot of work involved for you. You're going to be working hard, and then there's going to be lots of emotional choices to be made. So, you know, just think very carefully. But for whatever reason, there is been some sorrow. Hello, Christine. So where's God bless gone? Is God bless there? So I hope this is making sense to you. God bless. Does that make sense? God bless. Please let me know. But yeah, emotionally you feel like, hello Simona, thank you for sending a gift. The only way to get readings, by the way, is to tap the screen, and then I'll pick you from the top of the screen. Yes, please. It does make sense. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have some emotional choices ahead for you, but you just got to be careful about what those choices are, okay? Really think, don't jump into anything, you know, anything that looks too good to be true. Sometimes it may be, you know, or anything that looks too perfect. Don't really work through things in a way that, so you're not picking things that are not wrong, you know? Go with those emotional choices which are going to be best suited for you. But yeah, you need to see what you've got rather than what you've lost. This card is saying that at the moment, you know, even though it's in the positive section, you feel like you've lost something emotionally, but you're not seeing what you've got. You need to look more at what you've got, you know, and look at working hard to retain this. You know, don't let this come to an end unless that is what you want. You know, obviously that's what this emotional choices all come down to. All right, my lovely. So thank you for joining. So I hope you understood that. And the next person for a reading will be, let me see, Simone, actually. Simone, you are next. So Simone, thank you for... Will Rita reach out to me soon? Let's see. Will Rita reach out soon? Thanks a lot. You're welcome, God with us, body. Okay, so Simone, you want to know, will Rita reach out soon? Let us see. Let's see. So remember, these are not fortune telling cards, okay? This is just your energy, what's going on with you at the moment. The cards just shed the light a little bit in that direction to give you a little bit of advice to see what you need to do in order to move forward with where you are at this present moment. Okay, so I've got the Fool in the positive, I've got the Hermit in the negative. The result, I've got the Wheel of Fortune, and I've got the Star in the advice. So basically, you're the first person on here that has got a whole lot of life lessons going on. All major arcana cards here. And in your positive, we've got the Fool. Now this, to me, says about adventure. Stepping out into the unknown with regards to something, okay? This is all about you working on this relationship, and sometimes you have to go into the unknown with regards to this. So I'm just trying to find... Okay, so sometimes you have to be brave and, you know, go on this journey and step out into the unknown and take a leap of faith, okay? That's what the Fool is all about. The negative is the Hermit. Now the Hermit is what I'm seeing is you're keeping yourself in, you're not doing anything about it. Your Hermit's great, you know, if you want to go inward and get wise and spend some time on your own and work on things, but it's not very good in terms of, you know, nothing's going to happen if you don't get out in the world, you know, because you're waiting for someone else to reach out. You know, what's stopping you from taking that leap of faith? What is stopping you from doing that? And then we got the Wheel of Fortune in the result. Now the Wheel of Fortune, you know, it can go up or it can go down. So in this case, it's up, it's the right way up. So for me, I feel that one of you is going to make the move. I don't know which one of you. Doesn't really matter which one of you. And the Wheel of Fortune is going to turn. I feel that, so there is going to be some sort of contact. You will communicate. Whoever decides to get their finger out of their bum, so to speak, yeah, that will move things forward. There has been something in terms of, there probably was a Tower moment, because we've got the Star here. So this is almost like you've both been recovering from something that had happened. Maybe the foundations wasn't quite secure with each other in this particular relationship, whatever the relationship may be. And now you're emotionally renewing yourself and you're taking time out, a bit of self-care the pair of you need to have. And yeah, I mean, I think you need to move forward and make that connection, you know, and not expect them to make it. Maybe you should need to make the first move, and because you need to know the Wheel of Fortune will turn in your favor if you start moving things along, and then maybe you can get that foundation, that Tower moment that you may have had a little while ago, to start renewing yourself emotionally and getting yourself back again, you know, feeling that you're heading somewhere again, got a purpose, and you're not, you know, worrying about will you or won't you. You're actually doing something. You're taking action about it. Does that make sense? So I hope that helps you, my lovely. Right, so where are we now? Who's next? I hope that made sense to you. So we did Simone, and Dee Dee, you happen to be next, my lovely. You've been tapping for a while, so Dee Dee is now next. You're welcome, Simone. Love and light to you. Simona, sorry. Okay, the only way to get readings is literally to tap the hearts. If you tap the hearts, then I see your name and I call your name from up there. That's the simplest way of getting a reading. If you don't tap any hearts, unfortunately, you won't be getting a reading, but they are free. If you send gifts, I appreciate that. I love that. It's very kind of you, but it's not, you know, you don't have to. It's not an obligation is what I'm saying. All you need to do is tap the screen and press hearts, okay? So Dee Dee, did you want a general around your energy at the moment, or did you have a question, you know, that you wanted to sort of work on, you know, to see what direction to go in with that, you know, some advice with that? Please let me know. Just a general. Okay, so Dee Dee would like a general. So what is the energy around Dee Dee? Well, these cards are stepping out to me, so I'm going to go with those. So Dee Dee, we've got in your positive, we've got the Queen of Swords. In the negative, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. In the result, we've got Judgment. And the advice at the end is going to be the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I'll talk you through it. The Queen of Swords, here we go again. The Queen of Swords happens to be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. They are a queen, so they're nurturing, but they're nurturing when it comes to the brain. They sometimes, I mean, they've got lots of ideas. They're very clever. They get things done. They want to move things along. They're quick. You know, they're just all up in the air. But they can sometimes say things they don't necessarily mean to say. You know, because they are understanding. They're not. You know, they're up, but they are in their head a lot, so they might say things a bit bluntly, or might, you know, cut like a knife in the room kind of thing, you know. So it just means that this queen, it's a positive in the fact that she's got ideas, she's helpful, she's innovative, you know. So that's the positive side to things. The negative, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, knights are what they bring things, you know, to the king and the queen. They bring things in, and the Knight happens to be the negative thing in your life at the moment. Now, I don't know if this is talking about you or if it's talking about someone that's in your life, but this Knight happens to be an earth sign, so Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. So, you know, they are very good in terms of they work hard, they know what they want, they get on with things. But this particular Knight is not good for you for whatever reason. That seems to be a negative point against your innovative ideas and trying to move things forward and getting on and motivate. This Knight seems to be a bit more, they're not very quick. Out of all the Knights, I'd say this Knight is the slowest Knight. Doesn't mean that they haven't got work ethic, because they're really good at working, but they just take their time. They're not as quick as what the Queen wants things. The Queen is quick and wants things done and moves forward. And there's some judgment here as well. The result is judgment. So I don't know if there's like some judgment going on. I mean, it could be judgment within yourself or with somebody else, but you are judging. There is judgment, and you're being called to wake up for whatever reason. Wake up, you know, and see things in a better light. You know, you're seeing things for how they really are, I guess. I don't know if you've become to the point where you've become almost enlightened, and, you know, you're done with the conditioning. You want to move on, you know, you want to make things fair for everyone. And I feel that you're very generous, and you're very, and maybe someone else is going to be very generous, but there is going to be some generosity there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of giving and receiving going to be going on. You are having a realization of waking up. You're no longer going to be walking around like a zombie anymore. You're walking in life. Your eyes are open now. But yeah, this is just a negative thing, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Whoever this earth sign is, or maybe that's just you, that's that side of you that you just think, oh, you don't like that particular aspect of yourself, possibly, and you just want to be able to get on with things and move quickly, and maybe this night's not moving. Hi Pam, thank you for joining. So I hope that gave you shed some light for you anyway, my lovely. Okay, so the only way to get readings tonight, my lovelies, saying hello Pam, thank you for joining the fan club. Okay, so who's next? So tap the screen, do the hearts, and then I will tell you who I will be doing a reading for next. So whoever's been tapping the hearts the most, Dee Dee was the last person to be tapping the hearts, and then I'm going to see who else. If you've had a reading with me, can you please, you don't need to tap anymore, my lovelies. If you want to carry on watching, that's fine, but let the other people tap, so it enables them to get a reading, because otherwise it'll be the same people coming up here because they're still tapping, and if they've had the reading, it doesn't make sense to keep tapping. So let me see. So hello Pedro, thank you for joining. There's a few of you on there now, so just doing these cards, getting the energy right for the next people. Hello Cheryl, thank you for joining, lovely to have you. So Carrie, good evening. Where are you all from? I love to know. Oh, by the way, this is for Solar. Say hi to Solar. This is my kitten. Well, she's nearly half cat now, I'd say. She's not quite a kitten anymore, but she's joined us for the readings. Dundee, so show us from Dundee. Carrie's from Doncaster. Maisie's Brazil, say hello. Norfolk, DD. Norfolk, my partner loves Norfolk. So okay, oh, she's cute. Sheffield. Pedro, Thetford. Okay, Midlands. Angela. All right, so keep tapping, guys, keep tapping. I'm just going to see who's down the list that I haven't seen, who I haven't read for. Let's see. I might have to. All right, so Riley, you are next on there. Riley, is Riley around? Riley, are you there, lovely Riley? Thank you. Yes, I'm here. Okay, so Riley, what is your question? Remember, it's not fortune telling. It's just to give you a bit of advice. The tarot cards is just gonna. Ivy's to South Africa. Okay, so do you want a general, Riley, or do you want to? Do you have a particular question you'd want to know with what's going on in your life right now? Is there anything you need help with? Let me know in the comments. So Riley, you are next, my lovely. So I'm just waiting for Riley. Hello Bernadette, thank you. I just want some general advice on how to move forward. I feel a bit stuck. Okay, no problem. So we want to know, how should Riley move forward, because they're a bit stuck at the moment. Some general advice. So give me the cards that can help Riley with that, please. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Okay, I can see you've been juggling in the positive. It's a positive thing that you're able to juggle, multitask things physically. I think it's work and stuff. You're very good with your work. Very good at juggling what's going on in your life, and you're working with people and partnership. But the negative is there's a Knight of Swords rushing in here. And a Knight of Swords is almost like you're mentally rushing in, want to get something done. You want to get an answer. You want to know, you know, where you're going, you know. But it's like you can't. You've got like a mental block. As you say, you're stuck. You've got, that's what the negative is. It's like a mental block there, you know. You can't move forward. The Knight wants to bring things in, but you're not bringing things in. And then we've got the result. The result is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is someone that takes action, moves forward, becomes unstuck, adventurous, creative. You're bringing in what you need to do is bringing creativity in your life. You know, maybe set some goals and, you know, put down what would you like to do. If you imagine in a scenario, if in an ideal world, what would you like to be doing, you know, and then make steps to get there. Even if it's really unrealistic, just put it down and see, you know, it'll give you other ideas and inspiration to be able to move forward. We've also got the King of Cups, and this is the advice. It's saying be kind, be understanding, like the King of Cups to yourself, emotionally, you know, be the leader in your emotions, control your emotions in terms of, you know, be understanding and kind to yourself. You know, the process will move when it's meant to move. You can't rush the process. This is what this Knight is saying in the negative. You can't force things. If it's not meant to happen now, you're stuck for a reason, because the timing means it's just not meant to happen now. There's other things that you meant to be doing right now and in this present moment, so you need to focus on doing that. And I've got the thing here is the result is creativity. You know, you don't want to be rushing in mentally. You want to be doing something creative, fun, things that, you know, that are practical. So, you know, with energy, you want to be getting out there and doing something. So possibly even travel. There's something, but it takes time to plan, and you can't just go from A to C. You have to work out A, B, and then you get to C. Does that make sense? But yeah, just be kind to yourself. Don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to make things come up with answers. I know, makes sense. Thank you. I think I know what I need to do. Thank you. You're welcome, my lovely. I hope that does help you, but you can't, when you're stuck, you're stuck. You're stuck for a reason at the end of the day. It doesn't mean you're going to be stuck forever, but it just means that you need to slow down. Be kind to yourself. Find out meditate. Find out what you want, you know, work it all out. All right? So I hope that's helped you, my lovely. Okay, so let's see. Number 29 with the white heart. You are next. So, by the way, guys, like, follow, and share if you're enjoying these lives. Please let me know. And the next person is number 29, which is a lovely number because used to be my door number growing up. So let's see. Is that person here? Hi, Marilyn. So where are we? Okay. So 29, whoever you are, do you have a question, my lovely? Because you've been tapping the most. Number 29. Sabina, will I move into a new house? Okay, Sabina wants to know the energy around moving into a new house. What have the cards got to offer here? Remember, it's not fortune teller. We can't tell the future, but we can read the energy with what's going on. And your energy pretty much gives the answers to what's going on. It's what you feel is going on. It's your energy. Okay, so in the positive, we've got emotionally, we come to the end, the cups. You're emotionally satisfied here, okay? In the negative, we've got the Knight of Cups, which is bringing in something. So I guess it's waiting for something to come in emotionally. You know, you're waiting for something to be brought in. And as we say, you're wanting to find out if you're going to move somewhere into somewhere that you want to do. You want to move. And looking at this, I've got stability here. I've got the 4 of Wands, action, stability, good foundation, happy family, you're moving, security, that, you know, action, that is the result. And we've also got partnership in the as the advice. So work together in a partnership, emotionally in harmony and together. It's looking very positive. As I say, I don't predict the future, but from what the cards are saying, they're all looking like you're emotionally satisfied. You're just waiting for it to be brought in. You know, the Knight of Cups just need to bring it in. And I don't know if that happens to be, it's a negative side though. It's negative because you're having to wait. I guess that's why it's in the negative. You're having to wait for an answer to be brought in. But the result is saying that you've got the 4, the stability. You know, that to me, you know, is you're stopping, you're saying hi, you're thinking, yep, I've got it, I'm going to move. It's happening. And it's a good partnership there. Yeah, emotionally is a good partnership with that. So yeah, I'd say that's looking good, you know. So I hope that's helped you. Yeah, come back, let me know next time I'm on. And yeah. So hello, sweet roses. Hello, Pedro. Hello, sweet roses. Thank you for joining. Okay, it's Marina. Hello, Innocentia. Pedro, thank you for the roses. Okay, so who is next? Remember, the only way you get a reading is by tapping. Christine, you are next, my darling. Christine, if you're around, can you please let me know what you'd like to find out a bit of advice about? You know, remember, it's only guidance, it's not fortune telling. So, and thank you, Innocence, for sharing the live. I appreciate it, my lovely. Can you have a love reading? Well, if there's love in the cards, then yes, you can. I will see if the energy around you, is there any love around you at the moment? Because your energy will tell me that. And you will know that because you'll be picking up on that. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know. So let's see if the cards can show that. Let's see. Okay, so in the positive, we have got you looking out, taking action, wanting to meet someone, obviously. The negative side is you not going out enough, because we got here socializing. 3 of Cups is socializing with friends, getting out, and it's in the negative zone. So I don't know if you're not going to the right places, or you're not going out, or you're not meeting people, you're not necessarily setting yourself up for foundations for the love to be around. Not really at the moment. Yes, so love's not going to literally knock on your door. I know you'd love it to, but you know, and this is keeping you awake at night. The result, you know, it's making you upset, you're feeling lonely, down, you're wanting the love, but you know, you need to do something in order to bring in something. You need to take action. And here we got the advice, which is the juggling, the 2 of Pentacles. Pentacles represents this plane, the physical, what you need to do. You need to juggle maybe your work life and maybe your love life, and get out and do something with people, you know, go on, you know, be out with friends. Maybe they could introduce you to someone, or start a new hobby, or you know, just go places where you're more open to finding love. I'm not working anymore at the moment. Okay, we go for a walk if you can. You know, if you've got any pets or dogs or something, maybe get out and take the dog for a walk. And you know, if you don't have a dog, then you could go swimming or go to the gym. There's loads of places you can just go out and meet people. I mean, if you're just in your own home, and going online also possibly, but be careful with that one, all right? You know, make sure you watch, and always tell people if you meet anyone, you know, don't, you know, be safe, always be safe. Okay, but you need to take action. Okay, it's not going to knock on the door unless, of course, you know, you keep on manifesting a million times and hope that the Prince Charming will knock on the door, and maybe it will happen, but generally you do need to get out in the world, okay? Even if it's just going for a walk with a friend in the park and seeing people. The weather's getting nicer now, you know, depending on where you are in the world. Here it's going to get better. It's spring, so yeah. Doing makes things come into play, you know. In order for things to change, you have to change. You have to do stuff. Sometimes you don't have to do stuff. Sometimes you have to just wait and things out. But in this case, you definitely need to do stuff. All right. So I hope that helps you. All right. So the next person is going to be Sweet Roses. Sweet Roses, you are next, my lovely. Sweet Roses. So Sweet Roses is next. If you keep tapping the screen, then you're in for a chance to get a reading. If you don't tap the screen, then you're not in a chance of getting a reading. Simple as that. Easy peasy. Okie dokie. So Sweet Roses, what's the lovely energy around Sweet Roses? What does Sweet Roses need to know? What guidance does Sweet Roses need? Okay, so Sweet Roses, we've got the Queen of Cups and your positive and your negative. We've got the we've got the Six of Swords. And the result is the Ten of Swords. Okay, and we've got the advice. All right. Okay, my darling. My darling, the positive side of you is you're very kind, caring, understanding. I don't know if you happen to be the Queen of Cups, which is a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but generally this is the energy you are. You're lovely, you're loving, you're caring, you're nurturing. You are very focused on helping people and being there for people and all the rest of it. And you're understanding, you're empathic, maybe a bit intuitive, but the negative I've got here is you're trying to get away from something. Mentally, you're trying to get away from something. There's something going on in your life and you feel you've got to get away from whatever that is. There's a reason you've got to get away. So, but trying to get away is actually negative for you. You know, sometimes trying to walk away from something in your life isn't necessarily the answer. Sometimes you need to stay and sort things out rather than run away from your problems. So I don't know if you're trying to run away or get away for safety reasons or because mentally you just feel like you just need to get away, but that's not going to solve whatever the solution is in your life. And you've also feel like you've been wounded and hurt here, my darling. And it's a process you're going to go through. Something's happened in your life. You've been, I don't know if it happens to be a relationship or family, friends, but you've been literally felt like you've been stabbed in the back and you know, wanting to get away from this. Yes, with my family members. And basically the advice I can give you is things come to an end. And in order for things to come to the end, it brings in rebirth. You know, at the end of the day, what ends starts new beginnings. And sometimes you have to just face whatever that is, whatever that hurt is, go through it, be with it, deal with it, and then move forward to the next, you know, the next part of your life, you know, and you will learn from that because we all learn from things that hurt us, because at the end of the day, if everything was to go, you know, smooth as roses, I know you're called sweet as roses, then we'd never have anything to work towards and to, you know, to make better and to see differences in our life. So you are going to move forward, you know, that you're going to accept it, move forward, and start putting yourself first. You know, whatever's happened, it's happened, and you deserve better, and it's time for you to, you know, end things to start new beginnings. So that's what I've got there. Sometimes you have to end things with people in order to bring in new beginnings, and the new beginnings won't come in until you end what needs to be ended. Does that make sense, my lovely? So I hope that helped you. And Christine, I did see you. We will arrange for our one-to-one, because we still haven't had that, so we will do that. Thank you, definitely resonates, much appreciated. You're welcome, my lovely. So let's see where I'm at. So that was lovely, sweet roses. Follow, like and share, guys. If you want a little bit of advice on your energy at the moment, remember, this is not fortune telling. It literally is your energy and what's going on around you, and what I'm picking up from your questions and what the cards say, and we kind of put it all together. Okay, let me see. So who is next on my list? Mrs. Veldman. Mrs. Veldman, are you around, Mrs. Veldman? The only way you can get a reading is tapping those hearts. Mrs. Veldman, are you around? Because you look like you've been tapping a lot, because you're up there in 3rd place. So I'm going for Mrs. Veldman. Innocence, thank you for joining the fan club. Thank you, Innocence. You became number 49. And so... is that person there? Let's see, where they gone? Mrs. Veldman, are you there, Mrs. Veldman? Hello, Jojo, popping on and off. Cheryl McKinney, shared the live. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it, my lovelies. Right, what are we up to here? I don't know if Mrs. Feldman's there. I think she's gone. So I'm going to pick somebody else. Oh no, she's there. She's right up there. Miss Feldman, where are you? Where are you gone, Mrs. Feldman? So the only way to get a reading is to literally tap, and I will call your name like I called Mrs. Feldman. So Mrs. Feldman, hello. Fasola, you can say hello to people. No, you're sleeping. Okay, so I can't see Mrs. Feldman, so I'm not sure if she wants a reading or not. Or, so let me see. I'll see if there's somebody else I can do in between that might cook her. Let's see. I'm going to go down the list on here on the tappers. Gillian, you're next after Mrs. Feldman. So Gillian, and you about, my lovely? Gillian, you've been tapping quite a lot. So Gillian, is there Gillian there? Thank you for the rose, my lovely. Lynn just got number 1 viewer. So where's Gillian? Okay. Cheryl got a badge. I can't see Gillian's question on here. Have they gone away? Innocence, are you still there, my lovely? I don't do pregnancy. Innocence, what's your question, my lovely? What's your question, Innocence? Innocence, where are you going? I'm not getting any of the comments. That's it. I have Taylor's mother, Neo, had a reading about me, and what does she think of me? In instance of Taylor's mother, had a reading about you. Okay, I hope I'm on the right line. And what does she think of you? So Talia's... Oh. So you want to know what she thinks about you? Well, I can only see what the energy is about around you at the moment in terms of what you think, because of what she is and how she is around you. Obviously, I can't tell you what the reading was and what was said, but let's just see what the energy is and if it makes some sense. Let's have a look. So in the positive, we've got action, moving forward, lots of information coming in. So obviously she went for a reading, you heard this conversation, it's talking, there's lots of interaction going on. In the negative side of it, there's Justice card. Maybe you feel that there's, what they're speaking about you, it's to do with justice here, which is negative. So maybe you feel she's saying things that are not necessarily good about you, because the justice is the negative. Maybe you're worrying that she's speaking badly of you, possibly. But the result is satisfaction, emotionally happy. So I don't feel there was anything too bad. I think it's more your worry in terms of what was said, and and sometimes we're not meant to know what people say because we don't know what the actual outcome and the end result's going to be, and how it was meant to be said, and in what way it was meant to be interpreted, because we could take things the wrong way. But then we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is the advice, and the Knight is all about slow and steady, bringing things in, moving forward, skillfully doing that, but doing it in a pace that's good. So that means taking things in your stride and focusing on other things, being not worrying so much about what this reading was about. At the end of the day, there's nothing you could do to change it, and it's more about what they think of you anyway. The reading isn't actually going to make any difference. If you feel that there's an underlying something not quite right with your relationship, then there's obviously, it's either something within you or it's something that you are picking up, some sort of negative energy. But there is a justice there. So something, I don't know, maybe something was, you feel unfair, that was unfair towards you. Does that make sense? So the advice is just to be calm, just to take things steady, don't rush in, don't accuse or whatever. Just, whatever that was said, at the end of the day, what that person is and how they are with you and how they react with you, and how someone is with you, and no card reading is going to change that person about how they feel about you, and the card reading only gives you a glimpse into what's going to happen, and what could happen might not be exactly what you think, because we don't know the future, and people make changes and decisions every day that changes the outcome of what will be in this particular moment to the next moment, if that makes sense. We all have free will. We could all move forward and take a different direction, is what I'm saying. So what you do differently is what's going to happen. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, don't let it bother you. Let it go over your head. You do you, long as you're being good in the world and you give good energy, and just make sure that you are being treated fairly, because at the end of the day, you've got to stand up. If you do feel like someone's not treating you fairly, stand up for yourself at the end of the day, but don't go around causing problems when there isn't problems either. Does that make sense? Okay, so one more person. Let me see who is going to be next on here. Who's been tapping? Who's been tapping? Christine, did I do a reading for you? Oh, I know we got to do another reading, but did I do a reading for you? I can't remember. My brain is like a sieve. I've been on there for a while now, but I know you've been tapping a lot, Christine, but I don't know if I did the reading for you or... Yes, love, I did. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I did. So let's go down the list because it's... So Rana, you next. Rana, you around, Rana? Hi, Rana, how you doing? What do you just want me to look at the energy, do a general around your energy at the moment, or do you have a question that I can sort of ask and we can work it out from there? Please let me know. Hello, mamas. Thank you for joining. Hello, Lois. Hello, Jaya Blue. Christine, 107k. Oh, it's 107k. Yay. Thank you, Christine, for letting me know. Just future, and I will I find my soulmate this year? Okay, well, obviously I can give you a general and see where we go with that. Will you find your soulmate this year? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you've got to move on in life and keep going. Don't stay stuck and put yourself out in the world to be able to do that. And when it's meant to be, it will be. So let's see what your cards say anyway. Let's see. Okay, so in the positive, we've got the Knight of Wands. I can see that you're either... you are this star sign, or you're acting like this star sign energy, which would be... the Knight of Wands happens to be Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. You know, that's the kind of star sign you need to be. And that's a positive thing. It's all about Knights here is going out there and bringing things in and taking action. So yes, you are taking action. That's the positive side of the thing. So you are doing that. You are getting yourself out there. You are taking action. You are bringing passion and creativity and all of the good things. The negative side is you're taking on too much. You're overloaded. You're overloaded with stuff. You're kind of like, you've come to the end, you've completed something, you've done so much, but you've got to the point where you're trying to hold things together, and maybe you should have delegate a bit in your life, but maybe you're overlooking, maybe you need to step back, maybe you're overdoing that. Does that make sense? Maybe going a bit too much over. But then... and I also got a thing here, the result is you being choosy as well. We got, it looks like you've been offered some emotions along the way, but you're looking for the right one, I guess, the soulmate, I suppose. You've been offered love, and, you know, there's this love being offered to you, this Four of Cups, and this Fourth Cup's been offered to you, this emotion here. And you're just like, no, I'm waiting for the right one. No. So you're not ready to get with anyone until you found the right one. And yet the moment you feel like the advice, you're going to keep feeling like you're shut out in the cold. Because even though the one that you think is not your soulmate could be your soulmate, but you need to give people a chance, and that's what I'm seeing. You feel like you're shut out in the cold. I've been offered a job, but I don't want this role. Okay, so you've been offered a job and you don't want it. You're definitely not taking it anyway. You've looked that there's an offer that's coming in, but you don't want it, and you feel like you're shut out in the cold with regards to something. You know, we've got the 5 here, which is challenging. But ask for help. If you need help with regards to something, ask for help. People are there, people are around you to help you with something that you could be struggling with. But yeah, there is... Will you find your soulmate next year? I don't know. But you need to be not so choosy. You need to also sometimes give people a chance. And at the end of the day, you are going out and doing things. So that is good. You are being creative. You're being inspirational. You're doing all that. So, but yeah, just don't... You can't force a soulmate. Does that make sense? Soulmate will happen over time, and then you will realize that they are your soulmate. You can't just go bing, soulmate. You meet them just like that. You know, it takes time to get to know that person, and as long as you keep getting out there and doing that, then your prospects, your possibility is going to get higher. Okay, and even you can meet them through your job. You just don't know. All right, my lovely. So I hope that helps you. All right, so let me see who is next on this list. Let's see, where are we going? Meg Lily 96. Meg Lily 96. You're welcome, Raj 87. So Meg Lily, are you there, my lovely? Meg Lily. Oh my God, thank you so much. I really need this. You're welcome, Meg Lily. What's the energy around you at the moment? Do you want a general, or do you have a particular question? Remember, this is not fortune telling. This is tarot cards. They're just guidance. And I go on the energy around you. And obviously you really need this. So it means there's something going on that you need to find out, that you want, or you feel that you need to find out. I'm trying to get a new home due to my health. Will I have any luck soon? Okay, so what's the energy around Meg Lily 96? Please let me know. Okay, so in the positive, there's celebrations, family, friends, emotions. That's all good. In the negative, there's some judgment here. Judgment with regards to something. Maybe you're judging too much on yourself, or maybe other people are judging you with regards to something, but there is judgment, but it's an awakening as well at the same time. It's the realization you've got there. And there's some generosity, you know, people helping you out, and you helping other people out. So I would say the result's looking quite good in terms of moving. But the advice I give you is, do not mentally, you know, you're not restricted and tied and can't see what to do and you can't get out of this, you know. Don't mentally be in your own thoughts and stuff and feel like things aren't going to happen. Long as you ask for help and remove those restrictions, because you're not restricted, things will change for you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I felt like I'm stuck and never going to get out. Yep, this is what you feel like. But that rope around her and that blindfold can just easily be unraveled, and you know, and it's an 8. It's also almost complete. You've got people here. The judgment scales are there as well, balancing things out. It's going to work out. People are going to help you out, and there's going to be an awakening. And I think sometimes you have to have some sort of judgment in your life, a realization, and you know, see why these things happen and first. But you've definitely got positive, which you've got lots of friends and family that support you there. I think you are your own worst enemy, as in, you know, thinking that things can't change or move forward. But the world is your oyster, my darling, and you know, just because one road gets blocked doesn't mean another road won't open up for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you can imagine. You're welcome, Meg Lily. Love and light to you, sweetheart. So follow, like, share, people. I am getting to the point where I'm probably going to go, because I've been on for quite a while and I need to have a cup of tea and something to eat, and I'm not sure when I'll be back on again, but if you do want to follow me, then obviously follow. I just do one more, and that's going to be Lynn, because Lynn's been on here for a while. Lynn, what is your energy? What did you want to know? Because you have been tapping for a while, because I saw your name tapping earlier on. Okay, so Lynn, what question did you have, my lovely? Please let me know in the comments. Lovely Lynn, where are you? Where's lovely Lynn? I'm due for eviction in April. Just wondering if the council will house me. Okay, so what's the energy around Lynn with regards to her home? And will the council help her? What does it look like? Remember, it's everything that you do is what makes the changes. So let's see. Right, the positive is well, you've got a negative card in the positive section, and in the negative section you've got journey. Okay, interesting. So we've got all the yellow and the right. I think from what I could see, it's like either you feel that something's been taken away from you, some sort of deception or something unfair here, or you have almost got that imposter syndrome, like you feel like you're not sure what's going on in terms of you're sort of sneaking around, you're not knowing really what's going on in terms of, I mean, because obviously, as you said, you've been evicted, so losing your home, which is awful. But in the negative, you've got the Chariot, which is a journey. You've got to be willing to go on the journey. I think maybe the negativity is, you know, it's the reluctance of the change. It's unsettling and stuff, and maybe moving forward to the unknown is you're not really wanting to take that journey, but you obviously have to because you don't really have a choice in the matter, and you do feel like, you know, yeah, you're scared, to be honest, which is completely understandable. The result is satisfaction in terms of emotionally satisfied. So whatever happens, regardless to losing your house, you are going to end up emotionally satisfied here. And I can see that there's new things on the horizon that you'll be doing, planning in terms of moving forward with the physical realm. So be it work, be it a home, whatever, there is new things going to be, new ideas coming into play. So I wouldn't worry yourself so silly, because yes, this is happening, but at the end of the day, it's going to work out for your best. But you might not see it right now. Sometimes you've got to go through the storm before you get the good weather, calm down and things. You know, this is the calm before the storm, and then you have the storm, and then at the end, you know, things will turn out maybe not as bad as you think it's going to turn out. Maybe more what you expect, your expectation is worse than the actual the realistic outcome, if that makes sense. Okay, so don't keep worrying yourself silly. Does that make sense? What will be. You can't change that. You just need to have acceptance and deal with it, and know how to deal with it, and work with the new and work around that. But you will be emotionally satisfied whatever happens. All right? Yeah, totally. Thank you. I hope that's helped you, my lovely. All right? Okay, so I'm I've been on for quite a while. I'm sorry I can't get to everyone, but unfortunately I only work one person and I do get worn out, just like you all. So love and light to you. I'll tell you when I'm back again, when I know I'm back again. But at the moment, I'm doing my degree and studying for counselling. I've got just head down on that at the moment, so it's difficult to do lives. But when I do lives, I do enjoy them and appreciate the support. So love and light to you all. Bye bye.